me, please. Help me.
I was walking home from school, completely unaware that a van was quietly following me. A few seconds later, it pulled up beside me, the door slammed shut, and it sped away. I was knocked out and thrown into the back of the van. Just like that, I vanished from the world, without a trace. The case was investigated for years, but remained unsolved. Then one day, 11 years later, I appeared on the street, dark circles under my eyes, staggering as I walked. A kind passerby immediately called an ambulance. When I was taken to the hospital, my mom heard I had returned and tearfully told my dad the news. They rushed to the ward. I lay pale on the hospital bed, and when my dad saw the marking on my arm, he knew I was their daughter, Alice. I was so exhausted that I quickly drifted off to sleep. The next day, I began recounting the details of my abduction. My father couldn't bear to hear more and walked out of the room. The investigator didn't interrupt me because, as I was being loaded into the ambulance, I had kept repeating one name, Sophie. Sophie was the victim in another missing persons case, also abducted by a yellow van. The police realized they had to act fast. There might still be a chance Sophie was alive. I did know Sophie. She was stubborn and refused to comply with the kidnappers, so they treated her brutally. When I escaped, I wanted to take her with me, but she was too weak to even stand. My parents were heartbroken to hear this, but what came next was even more shocking. Tests showed I had stretch marks, meaning I had once given birth. The police launched a massive search in the forest based on the route I claimed to have taken when I escaped, but they found nothing. I returned home and my mother urged me to rest, but once they left the room, I found myself fidgeting with my fingers, a strange smile curling at the corner of my lips. Back in my room, I looked at photos of children, and a strange feeling began to rise in me. I didn't quite feel like the daughter they remembered. My mother sensed something off about me and told my father her suspicions, but he brushed it off, saying I had probably just changed after everything I'd been through. Then the doorbell rang. It was Julian, a detective working on another kidnapping case. When he learned that Sophie and I had been held together, he came from France to Germany to investigate. I told him I had escaped from the basement and that I had wanted to take Sophie with me, but she had been tortured so badly she could no longer walk. Julian asked if I could find the escape route if we went back to the forest. I hesitated, my answers full of holes. He clearly sensed something was wrong, but before he could press further, my father noticed my reluctance and made him leave. One small, unconscious gesture of mine caught Julian's eye. He later reviewed footage from before Sophie's disappearance and noticed that under stress, Sophie made the exact same gesture I had just made. He began to suspect I wasn't really Alice at all, but Sophie, the girl who had been missing for years. Just as he was running out of leads, I agreed to take him to the place where we'd been held. Before we left, my mother brought me a yellow scarf, saying it was one I had knitted with my teacher. Without thinking, I corrected her it was made with my classmates. She didn't even know why she was testing me. With both the military and police protecting us, I slowly made my way deep into the forest. Suddenly, I froze. Ahead of me was a hidden trench.